So I'm going to show you how to get lyrics if we have a new song that we don't have inside of our library. There's really two ways to do it. First, probably the easiest way is to get into Safari, back into DropBox. It'll probably start off here in ELC Media. Okay, so from here, you can just search it. So let's try Trusting God. Okay, so Trusting God, so they have a redacted version. Click on it. And in this case, this is a file for ProPresenter. And we're going to download it. So once that downloads, navigate to the Finder, and you'll see it here. So this is a ProPresenter file. So what we'll do is navigate. We can minimize this, so we don't need it anymore. I usually try to double click, or to click into ProPresenter first, just to make sure that I have it selected as what's on the opposite. So tab back over, or select the other window, the Finder window. And then you can drag this into the library, or you can double click it. For the most part, I double click. And we tell it what library we want it to go into. In this case, we want it into the NRT library. Click OK. So what it'll automatically do is show you what we have inside of the library for it. And I'm just using this as an example, but we already have a Trusting God. The first thing that we want to do when we do this is to bring it into the playlist that we want to use it in. So we'll take it, highlight, and pull it into the one that we want. And then we'll click on that playlist, and we'll see that it's down here. Then you can place it wherever it is you want. So in this case, we're going to put Trusting God in front of We Need a Miracle. Click on it just to make sure that that's what you're working on. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change the transitions. These have transition icons on them already, but we want to make sure that we're doing this the way that we need it to go. So right click or click on it, select all, Command A, and we're going to change the default transition. So the default transition that we want is a cut, so that it'll go immediately to the next slide without any kind of blurring or fading. And then while we have everything selected, right click again, and then we're going to go to transitions, and we're going to make them all cuts. And we'll change some of the transitions for some of these, but it's easier to do them all at once before moving into something else. So first thing that we need to do after that is take these slides and then format them as far as how they look for our screen. So while everything's still highlighted, right click, and we're going to add a theme. So right now, the theme that we want is center screen and worship. So if you click on that, it'll change the background, it'll change font sometimes if the font is different. It'll change spacing and all that. So right now everything's changed over, and what we want to do then is tell it what we want it to look like in the confidence monitor. So right click, add action, and we're going to go to stage. So stage is the screen that they see from the stage. Click on it, and because this is a song, we want to change it to lyrics, which will give us the current slide that we're on, or the content of the current slide that we're on, and the content of the next slide, so they can look ahead. So we're going to look over here at basically the basic what is a live view or preview of what we're seeing. So when we click on Blessed Assurance, this first one here, this is what it looks like in the center screen. Right now, this is what it looks like on the side screens, and this is how it's set up to look in the confidence monitor. So as you go on, you can see they'll just click over to that and they all look the same. So now what we need to do is tell it what we want it to look like on the from the front facing ones. And because we're using two different screen formats, we have to use what is called an audience look, and it basically will it has a combination of different things on it. So let's go take a look at that first. So if you go to screens, edit looks, and these are the ones that we have available right now. So if you click on worship, this is what the side screens see, and that is a side that's set up for side screens with the text in the middle. And then this is what the LED wall will show, and that is text up at the top. Okay, go ahead and close that. So we want to select all these again. Command A, right click, add action. So we're going to add an audience look, and the one that we want is worship. So it doesn't change anything for the front screens, but the difference comes in what we see on the side screens. So if we click this, we've already programmed this. So this is what the confidence monitor looks like. This is what it looks like on the LED screen, and we put on the side screens text in the middle, and they basically sort of line up front. Now, normally, if you go from the title slide, I like to have the singers and everybody be able to see what's coming up next. Because if right now, as you can see in the confidence, they see this slide, but they don't see what's coming next. So I'll go to this slide here, the one that we have as a buffer. We're gonna right click it and click disable. So it will skip over this. If you're trying to go through this automatically with the keys or the spacebar or the arrows. So now if we click on the title slide, because this is disabled, we can see the title slide and the first line, even though it's not the one that is right next to it. So after that, what I like to do is take all the blank screens, just command and click them, and then I'll change those transitions to make them fade or dissolve, just to have it, it won't show you in the previews really. Oh, it does. Okay. All right, and the last thing I'll do with the song is I'll go to the title slide and right click it, and then I'm gonna edit it. So we want this to kind of stand out a little bit more. These are up to you on how your current leader is having you set these up. This is the way that I do it, just so you can see it. Double click, or in the text sample, you'll get connect to the text box. Double click, and normally the title itself I'll try to really have stand out, and I like to use same thing, so 125 points, and I'll highlight these. I like them to be, you should be able to read them, but they don't really need to stand out that much. So I'll use 70. And then you can change the font size or the font. So we've been using this one. I'd like it not to be in all caps. So we'll put title case. If it needs sometimes they need some commas or whatnot. So then I'll take this line, and normally I'll also change the font to make it stand out a bit. So we'll take this put it at 90 points. I'll normally choose like what is the one? It's one of the typewriter ones. American Typewriter. And these are a little too close together, so I'm gonna add some line height to separate them out better. So when you're done doing that, you can click on Show to get back. And now when we click on that, it'll show the way that we edited it. It doesn't reflect that in the confidence though, so they just see what they saw earlier, but the audience screens are showing something that's a bit changed. So right now, it's just set to cut over, except for the blank ones where it'll fade out.